You're listening to I Love This TV Show, The Golden Girls.
Hi, and welcome to the I Love This TV Show podcast. I'm your host, Noelle from pastasworld.com. Each season of this podcast will contain a TV show in full. This means the length of the season depends on the length of the TV show. The first season is, of course, The Golden Girls. The Golden Girls, Season 2, Episode 10, Love Rose. Sophia comes home upset. Her bus route has been changed, but she also took the wrong bus. Dorothy comes out and asks Rose if she can borrow a bracelet. Blanche comes out to ask about borrowing pearl earrings. Blanche tells a story about another woman who hadn't dated in ages. Rose is having a dry spell with dates. Blanche: Honey, have you given any thought to advertising? Rose: Oh, Blanche, I could never dress the way you do. Besides, I have to wear undies. Not all my wool skirts are lined. But that isn't what Blanche meant. Dorothy asks if she means like a personals ad in the paper. Rose is not sure about this. Dorothy tells her that if she doesn't like any of the responses, she doesn't have to reply, and the community center does it for free. Blanche says they'll also run your picture and give you 100 words for your biography. Rose decides to try it. Blanche: Desperate times call for desperate measures. Rose: Blanche, you make it sound like I'm the only woman in Miami who doesn't have a date. Sophia comes out and asks to borrow a scarf. She has a date too. Rose is shocked. It's another day. Rose asks about the mail. Rose is upset that she hasn't gotten a single response to her personal ad. Sophia comes in the back door. She asks if anyone is following her. Dorothy says no. She then tells her an Englishman from the senior center has been following her. Rose: Sophia has men chasing her, and I can't even get one to write me a letter. Sophia tells Rose she can have Willie. Rose is suspicious. Sophia tells her that he's 90 and has the profile of a tom turkey, and his butt hits his heels when he walks. Dorothy says he sounds kind of cute. Sophia: There's no magic, Dorothy. No sparks. You know what I mean? Dorothy: He's 90, you're 80. Sparks are dangerous. Blanche agrees with Sophia, though. Sophia begs Rose to let her fix her up with Willie. But Rose is not interested. Dorothy tells Rose not to let it get her down. Blanche starts talking about having a relationship with a cousin. But Rose says it was when she tried to become a WAC during the Korean War. She failed the inkblot test because she cut them out. She leaves. Dorothy worries this personals ad was a mistake. Blanche decides to set Rose up with one of her discards, but she makes him sound so good, she's going to go out with him again. Blanche and Dorothy are playing cards on the lanai. Blanche is upset about who is going to cut her hair. Rose runs out, saying she got a response on her personal ad. She's excited. Blanche confesses to Dorothy that she wrote the letter to Rose. She named him Isaac Newton. Dorothy is horrified. It's another night in the kitchen. Blanche and Dorothy are writing another letter to Rose as Isaac Newton. Dorothy says it's time to ship Isaac off somewhere. Dorothy: Excuse me, next time we invent a person, let's make sure he has a trade that travels. Blanche is proud of Isaac and will be sad to see him go. Dorothy keeps freaking out. Sophia comes in to talk about her problem about the Englishman. Rose comes in the kitchen too. She wants to meet Isaac. Blanche is now on board with Isaac going away. The girls are getting ready for the reception. They decide to go in 2 cars. Blanche asks about her cousin Arnold. Rose says she has a date, but it's not Arnold. Rose tells them her date is Isaac. The letter telling her he was leaving inspired her to call and ask him out. Blanche and Dorothy are about to have heart attacks. Rose heads back to her room to finish getting ready. The pair try to figure out what to do. Blanche: What are we going to do? Dorothy: Well, we certainly can't let Rose go out with a guy who said yes to a date with a woman who just picked his name out of a phone book. Blanche: You say that like nobody ever does it. Blanche tells Dorothy it's just for this one date as he leaves for Canada. But Dorothy points out this isn't their made-up person, so he's not leaving. Blanche comes back to reality. She thinks he might be Rose's dream come true. The doorbell rings, and it's Willie, Sophia's Englishman. He wants to take her to the reception, but she has no interest and gives him a rude Italian hand gesture. Dorothy wants to confess. The doorbell rings again. It's Isaac Newton. The two briefly chat with him. Rose comes out, and Isaac tells Rose she's really beautiful. Dorothy tries to get Rose's attention so she and Blanche can tell her the truth, but Blanche wants to see what happens. Blanche: why don't you two just run along and we'll catch up with you later? Dorothy: Blanche! Blanche: honey, don't you see that something is happening here? Dorothy: yes, it's the beginning of a disaster. Blanche: we don't know that. Everything could turn out fine. Rose offers him food and beverage, and he selects cheese. Blanche looks on happily, while Dorothy still looks horror-struck. But Dorothy and Rose send their dates off to get them more champagne. Blanche has a slight meltdown about Rose and Isaac. Meanwhile, Rose and Isaac are hitting it off. But Rose is confused about why he doesn't recall the letters or anything he wrote in them. Dorothy and Blanche try to talk to Rose. She decides to dance with Isaac, and the two walk away. Willie is still chasing Sophia. He tells her he doesn't love her just because she's a wealthy widow. He wants to protect her and not take advantage of her. Sophia asks why he thought she was a wealthy widow. She tells him she's not wealthy, and he takes off. Sadly, Rose and Isaac start to fight. She asks again about the letters, and he again asks what letters. Rose thinks he played a weird joke on her. Blanche and Dorothy confess to writing the letters. They apologize profusely, but Rose becomes extremely upset and runs to the bathroom. The two follow her and try to talk to her. They want to explain. Rose won't stop crying. Suddenly, Isaac joins them in the ladies' room. Dorothy kicks him out. Dorothy begs Rose to come out of the bathroom. Rose tells them the worst part is that she thought someone cared about her. Dorothy and Blanche tell her they wrote those letters and meant every word. She comes out, and all the women in line clap and cheer. The three hug. Rose: it was still a pretty crazy thing to do, but it was nice to know you did it because you cared about me. They head back to the party. I'll be right back after this break. Favorite quotes. Rose: Blanche, you make it sound like I'm the only woman in Miami who doesn't have a date. Dorothy: he's 90. You're 80. Sparks are dangerous. Blanche: I know what you mean, Sophia. I would never be with a man unless I felt those sparks. Dorothy: fortunately for you, you carry flints in your bra. Rose: I haven't been this depressed since I was rejected by Uncle Sam. Blanche: well, honey, if he was your uncle, it wasn't meant to be. Dorothy: fine. Next time we invent a person, let's make sure he has a trade that travels. Dorothy: we have created a poetry-writing citrus farmer who writes letters with a lavender felt pen. Blanche: don't you see? Something's happening here. Dorothy: yes, the beginning of a disaster. Dorothy: what we did out of friendship. Rose: friendship? You made me look like a fool. Well, Rose is the only woman, according to Blanche, having a dry spell on dating in Miami. Apparently Dorothy has a date, Blanche has a date, and Sophia has a date. That rarely happens, although technically Sophia doesn't want her date because she finds Willie repulsive. And we never see Blanche or Dorothy's date, really, except as they walk away to get champagne for them. Poor Rose, though. They pretend to be someone else. They actually create a person after convincing her to do a personals ad, and then they be the person who responded.
I'm not really sure if that's love or if that's psychotic or what that is, but when maybe next time Blanche should go through the phone book and make sure that the person's name she's creating is not listed so that no one can just randomly call them up, because that's kind of all bad. Oh, and then, yeah, when the truth comes out, I don't know, how would you react if your friends pretended to be someone who responded to your own personal ad?
Thanks for tuning in to the I Love This TV Show podcast. If you would like to make a donation in support of this podcast, you can through Cash App to Pasta26MC. That's pasta like the food, the number 2, the number 6, M as in monkey, C as in cat. If you would like to sponsor this podcast or advertise on it, please send an email to podcast@pastasworld.com. As always, you can go to pastasworld.com for more information.